Blessings, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I was going to say Crossroads Meets the Ocean Rose, but it is not. It's a new podcast channel, Walk with Faith with Molly Faith. I'm so happy you guys are here. Thank you. Today we have a very special guest, very dear to my heart, and I'm just going to say it. I'm sorry. I have to. The biggest blessing of my life. Gift from God. The Most High, my son Ryan. Hi, Ryan.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for having the courage to come on.
Yeah, I know this is day 2 of trying to get to get to do this.
I know.
Yesterday did not work out well, so trying to be a little bit more lighthearted this time, hopefully.
You know what? That's so crazy because it was almost healing yesterday, but it was like we started talking about the past.
Yeah.
And it like opened up traumas from the past.
You think you're healed from your past, and then you go to share it online, and it doesn't end well, and opens up a whole, I don't know the term, can of something.
Can of worms.
Can of worms, yeah.
Well, I think maybe you had suppressed some memories.
Yeah.
That you were, which was really good, because you were able to go back.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. It was hard times, but all the challenges that we went through, we had good times, solving those and getting through those. And, I feel like everything that we did was a challenge at some sort. We had to complete something in the hardest way possible.
In the most challenging way. It's never easy.
Yeah, I mean, even the drive out to where we are now in Texas was ridiculous. I remember we were talking before, and we're so hesitant, or I know I really wanted to go to Texas, but I know you were more hesitant about it at first, and we were discussing.
I was born and raised in Southern California.
Yeah, you were here, you were there your whole life, and I've, just started my life basically. But yeah, we're discussing the route to get there, and I was like, oh, the easier route is just to go below towards the border. You're like, no, I don't want to go there, I don't want to go past the border. So I'm like, okay.
Well, we had all of our spiritual stuff, and a lot of people don't understand, when you're highly spiritual.
Yeah. So it took me a couple days to find a route, going the up top way. But my app that I was using would not let me, save a route a certain way that I wanted. So I was trying all these things, going on a computer trying to just make custom routes and everything. It was not working. So it was more of just blind faith, just trying to get, follow the maps that whole way. And we had some sketchy routes some went through. I
would say so, like a ghost town.
Yeah, it was, those small towns that are just quiet and dead at night, So that was fun. I know one of your necklaces broke.
My lake, Yeah, because, all the blessed jewelry, when they break, you're being protected from an energy. And so sure enough, we stopped because we were delirious. We stopped. We went to a gas station. The first one we can find after we got through the ghost town.
Yeah.
That was pitch black. And I get out of the U-Haul, the truck, and all of a sudden all the beads go everywhere.
Yeah.
And it was Yemiya no Shun. I was like, okay, thank you for protecting us. Thank you, Father God, for giving us the angels and the protectors that we have. So I was like, well, that confirms it. Yes, the energy I was feeling was not the most positive.
Yeah. Yeah, even before we set off, too, we just busted our butts to just get the U-Haul loaded. I remember we started early in the day. Mm-hmm. And that night we were discussing, we're like, hey, do we want to sleep and leave early in the morning next day, or just want to go at it and go?
Let's do it.
So I don't know if we made like maybe a slight misjudgment there, because we were going, and I think it got about like 5 a.m. We were just entered Arizona, I'm pretty sure, and I'm guessing getting McDonald's before we went.
It was In-N-Out.
Oh, no, it was McDonald's.
Was it McDonald's?
Yeah, it was McDonald's.
So unhealthy.
Yeah. Worst thing to do, and just eat that and sit there and drive overnight when you're exhausted. Because we were packing and moving heavy stuff all day. And
keep in mind, we were leaving La Quinta in the summertime. Yeah. It was like 115
it was bad.
degrees. It was so hot.
Yeah. So I just got the worst indigestion. It was... I know we had to stop because I was like, I can't go anymore.
Well, see, but that's what I think, well, probably the combination of the food and stress, the heat, anxiety. It was a lot of work.
We had to get out of there because, someone had the Airbnb booked, I think the next, day or two, right?
Because we were visiting La Quinta.
Yeah.
So we let... Yeah, we'll go back in time regarding that.
Yeah.
But we, we stopped at a hotel. It
worked.
It did. It was fine.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of sleep. They were nice. That's what matters.
Yeah.
And then we got on the road.
Mm-hmm. And then we went, what was it, 15 hours straight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was, got into Texas. It was like our last couple hours. I started falling asleep on the road.
I know. Ryan, I was like, I was in back of you because I was making sure you were okay, and you had the dogs. You had Daisy and Moon. And I was driving, and I remember seeing the sun come up, and it was so beautiful. And I remember I saw you swerving, and I called you. I was like, Ryan, you're like... I'm awake. I'm like, you're awake? What are you talking about? You're driving. So I made you pull over.
Yeah.
I didn't know. And I'm glad I was behind you. But it was really hard.
Yeah.
It was really hard. But we pulled over. It was like this field area. And I made you rest.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you said you were ready. I remember you were like trying to, shake yourself out of it. But
coffee, slapping myself.
It just didn't work.
Yeah.
You needed rest because it was hard. That was a long journey.
I think the longest I've driven was from San Diego to San Francisco with a friend of mine. But even that, we took one car and we would switch every couple hours and we would sleep.
Right.
So we split the drive. This was just, we had to drive our separate vehicles. So that was the longest I ever, had to drive, but...
Well, at least you had the car, but you had the dogs.
Yeah, I know. Luckily, they were good the whole entire time.
Yeah.
So that was an upside. So
I think I've mastered driving U-Haul trucks at this point.
Yeah, that was tough.
Oh, the first time. Do you remember when we left? When we got here. Oh my gosh! When we got here, okay. This is how we turn challenges into positive memories.
Yeah. I mean, even with that whole challenge of 22 hour drive, we get here.
I thought it was longer than that.
I think it was just a little less than a day.
What?
Yeah. And, we had that whole challenge, and then we get here, and what do we have again? God presents us with another challenge.
We love him.
Yeah, he made every single situation the hardest possible.
But you know what?
Trained us.
But it did train us. But you know what? There were good things that came out of it.
Yeah.
There were really good things that came out of it.
I remember we got to, because we didn't have a place out here yet. We just kind of packed up and went.
We trusted. We took that leap of faith.
So we got an Airbnb out here in just right of downtown Austin, and we didn't know at the time because we didn't know the area. It was a little ghetto, And so,
it just wasn't like, it wasn't the nicest.
yeah. So we get there, we're absolutely exhausted. I know I had one of the best meals, though.
You know what I gotta say? I thought it was pretty cute. Can I just tell you, I thought the place was cute.
It was, yeah.
The only thing that happened was there was little bumps in the road, like the wasp nest in front of the house.
Yeah.
And
Stuff falling apart.
it was just a challenge.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay because it let us. We actually met some really cool people because we left that Airbnb, and we ended up having to stay in a hotel. We were technically homeless for like.
Oh, we were missing a big part of that jump, but.
Oh, when we went to the other place,
Yeah,
was.
We went all the way to San Antonio.
Yeah, we drove to San Antonio.
We went all the way over to what was it, Six Flags or something?
Oh, it was a crossroads moment where I didn't know what we were gonna do. It was literally like throwing my hands up and saying, "Please save us," because I'm following direction, but I don't know what we're doing. So I know that there's a greater plan to this, and we were led to some really cool people that were closer to where we are now.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, and mastering the U-Haul truck driving. No, you know, Rye, if we go back though, and we did have good moments, and I think this has molded you into the young man that you are today. You're very strong, you're very patient, very hardworking, and very kind. You could have taken, you had two different paths. You could have, well, there's many, but that you could have taken, right, with everything. Because with all the trials and tribulations, all the journeys we had to take, because if we go back, let's just, before we came to Texas, we were in La Quinta. We were visiting there. And then before that, Laguna Beach, there. And then San Diego. And we moved several times in San Diego.
Yeah.
So technically, we were in Airbnbs or hotels until we came here. But when we were in San Diego, you know, that was really a pivotal time where I saw a shift in you and what, there was many shifts that happened.
Yeah.
Right? So, I think it was like 2020 or 2019, 2020, when I saw a shift in your faith and your life start to slowly change up until now, you know, you transformed. Because when we were going through like the divorce and everything and the separation and Nana's loss, right, her passing, and we had to make all these changes, I was changing my life.
Yeah.
Right. And that for you at that age, so let's see, oh my gosh, how many years ago was that? It's going to be 2025.
Yeah.
So 2016, 2017 is when we went to Sedona. Oh my gosh. And then I started 2018, my very, very serious studies.
Yeah.
Right? And everything shifted in our life. That must have been challenging for you, but I know that you had really started focusing on YouTube.
Yeah. No, like you were saying, you know, you really started being serious about everything, you know, whether it's spiritual, whether it's God or faith. And I know at first I wasn't very open-minded to it. But yeah, I mean, seeing you go along that path, it really did have a big influence on me, even till this day too. But YouTube too. It was something that I really enjoyed. I still do. I don't get to do it as often as I did. But it really was a passion of mine. And I love the whole editing. I get to do clips and share that with the world, and just hopefully make that impact on everybody. So
your YouTube channel is called what?
Fusion LOL. So it's FUZIONLOL. And it originally wasn't that. I was originally trying to get Fusion with the S, but I had so much trouble just trying to find that username, and it wouldn't work out. So I'm like thinking, what is the best thing I could do with that? And I was like, why don't I just change one letter and do that? So I got that, just Fusion, and when I was younger, I was bouncing around from different groups of gamers and stuff, so I would constantly be changing that.
What was that gamer group that you were a part of?
I don't know, it was so much. But I know that was when I was purely focused on YouTube. It was a time where it was do school and then game and YouTube. That was basically my daily routine, unless we had other stuff to do the day. But got to the point where I was getting too busy for it, and I'm happy just to be able to do everything I need to do during the day and hop on for a couple hours at night. It really does help with just daily life and release.
And when you do that, you have a goal in mind, which I've noticed with your montages. So when you do that, because when you did start your YouTube, you would do like bloopers or different experiences, and you were very young.
Yeah.
And like when you didn't have sports or something like that, you would get on there and do that. And then you started taking your gaming clips, mm-hmm. right? Doing editing, creating montages. And you would, sync the music to it?
Yeah. So like you're saying, I would, do bloopers and stuff, but before even that, I would, do just plain gaming commentaries, with me talking and the gameplay in the back. But I started pivoting towards the montages, and I started off with a lot of hip-hop and rap. And as I kept going, even just this last year or two, I noticed, hey, that's not something I really want to do anymore. It's not really fitting what I want to put out there. So I decided I really started getting into more upbeat gospel music, I guess. Not so much Christian music, or sort of.
Yeah, it's like, it's faith-based. It's praise.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's okay. That's my music I listen to.
Yeah, I can't, I'll go away every once in a while, but I can't listen to really anything else than that now. And I was listening to these music in the car on the way back from work, and I was like, why don't I put these into my montages? That would be powerful. So I was like, okay. I took one that was basically almost completed, and I stripped the song, and I put that in there, and the timeline was all messed up, I remember. So I had to go through and just change everything, and I listened to it, and I was like, whoa, this is what I want to do from now on. Even if I don't post that much, this is what I want to do when I do post, is I want to put these songs into here and make it powerful like that. And I enjoy doing that. That's, one of my, I guess, side hustles. So, away from daily life, I have that, which makes me happy. Yeah.
As long as it makes you happy.
Yeah.
That's what I want for you. It's for you to be happy.
Yeah. So.
I think that's what every parent wants for their child, is for them to follow their passions and dreams, to be healthy and happy, and to be close to the Most High.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for that. Yeah, I remember that time, when we were going through all the shifts and changes, and it was very shocking for you, because I wasn't always where I am today. I mean, obviously not. There's always the shadow of us, or the negative aspect of our life, which I don't want to say it's negative. It's just about learning and growing and remembering who we are, and really truly where we, what resonates with our soul and our spirit. And that was connecting to Source, the Most High, God, right?
Yeah.
And so I remember it was difficult for you, and we were in the car one day, and this is when we were in San Carlos area, San Diego, by the lake.
Yep.
And you said, and you got very upset. Something triggered you.
Yeah, majorly, I remember. I can't recall it perfectly, but I do remember it. You were saying something, and it just hit a sore spot immediately. And I started getting so angry, saying, I don't want to follow that path. I don't want to do all that.
I don't want to be spiritual. I don't want to pray. I don't want to do any of that. That's for you. That's not for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, at the time, I couldn't see it. Maybe because I was so young and I still had that, massive trauma I was working through. And, even now I still, everybody has a little bit of trauma that they have to deal with.
Everyone's working through it always.
Yeah. You're constantly healing. You're never going to be perfect. But, yeah, I mean, it just, over the years, I guess, little by little, that influence from you and constantly just being with you, it kind of opened my eyes, kind of like opening up your third eye. But yeah, now I'm grateful. I look back on that and I see them as life lessons, even though I am so young still. But yeah, it was a good life lesson, and
now you're my prayer buddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's time to go pray.
Yeah.
You're like, okay,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Yeah, I remember the other night, I think I just got home from work.
Mm-hmm.
And
we were so tired.
I was fighting
your blood sugar.
my blood sugar all day at work. It was ridiculous. And I get in the car after work and I'm just sitting there. I'm like 60.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody doesn't know, type 1 blood sugar needs to be like 130 be normal. I like it to be above 200 for work. But I was like 60, and anything below 40 is like extremely dangerous, if I don't have anybody around. And so I'm sitting there rummaging through the hot car. I find 2 scoldering pack of gummies. And at this point, I've eaten so many gummies, my sweet tooth is out the door.
You're so funny, Ryan.
And I just eat those as fast as I can. I'm sitting there for 10 minutes, and I'm like, all right, I have to do something. I see the coffee shop next to my work still open, because I was like, I don't know if their drive-thru open. I don't want to walk in. This car goes through. I'm like, why not? So I go through there. I get a latte and a chocolate donut. And so I'm eating that, and then I have to go to the store. And I get there, I'm like, oh, cool. I'm going up. I'm at a good range. Go into the store, come out, and I stabilize. I'm like, sweet. I don't have to worry about it. I get home and eat dinner, and then we go to pray. And I look at my blood sugar again, and I'm like 60. I'm like, how is that even possible?
You uncovered all that food.
Yeah.
With no insulin.
So we're praying. I'm not only am I extremely low, but I'm extremely exhausted. So I'm laying on the ground with a pillow while you're praying. I'm over here having a tablespoon of friggin' frosting in my mouth.
And your face was so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You got to do something if you don't have any other options.
You know, God and our angels and all of our aunts, everybody was probably sitting there just laughing because we were actually laughing, trying to, you know, I don't know, the conversations we were having when we were praying, and you're sitting here sticking a spoon of frosting in your mouth with the look on your face.
I have like a glass of milk next to me. I'm trying to water it down. I'm like, no.
Oh my gosh. But
yeah, I mean, I eventually got it under control, but it was a mess. But it was a challenge. So
you know what's interesting though, and this is where we have to take healing into account, okay? Because we've been praying for your diabetes, because there's no cure for type 1 diabetes, so they say, right?
I mean, they've just been, you know, upgrading their equipment to better suit your lifestyle, basically, which is cool because that's making it easier on me. But yeah, we've been praying for years for me to heal, and I noticed this last 8 months to a year.
This is interesting.
I went from constantly being like 250 to 350 to being, you know, in the 100s, low. I do have those times where it's mainly my mistake, where I'm a little stupid with it.
You're not stupid. Don't ever say you're stupid. I'm going to correct you as your mother.
All right.
Thank you.
And, you know, I won't pay attention to it, or I won't fill my pump or anything, and I'll forget about it, and that's when I do raise. But when I do keep it under control, you know, I'm just perfect, and I can see myself healing from it, from what I was when I was younger, even a few years ago, to now.
Even before we came here,
yeah.
That's what's so interesting is I've noticed a change with prayer of healing you, and then not needing as much insulin. Like, how can you go as a type 1 diabetic? Never before would you have been able to do this, but to eat all of that uncovered and still be low.
Yeah. I think it was like a semi-sweet latte, a chocolate glazed donut, some fried chicken.
And that's what happens when you're low. It affects your hunger.
Macaroni salad. I was eating everything and didn't work
You're like, I don't want to eat anything.
Yeah,
I don't want to do this.
I did not want to eat anything.
But it was like your blood sugar had to raise.
Yeah.
You had to go up. And so I was like, do you want an orange? You're
like, no.
I don't want anything. I know. So, but it's kind of, so we're going to have to find that balance, because what I've noticed is slowly but surely, you are starting to heal.
Yeah.
There's something going on with your pancreas, the cells, and we do have the ability, right, along with things like source, the power, that healing. We do have that ability. And that to me is a miracle, even though it is a challenge right now, figuring out the balance and watching this kind of go like that. And also when you do those baths, like the baths that we do, the cleanses.
If I'm like, 250, I'll be like, okay, I'll hop in the shower and I'll take one of those baths and I'll get out and it's like, 120. I'm like, whoa.
They're helping you. It's natural, the herbs.
Yeah. And, I really, now that I'm older, I really do see God as giving me this autoimmune disease as a way of making me stronger. It was actually a gift, even if it is a pain in the butt sometimes. But, I got it basically right on my 8th birthday, and I remember one of the first times I went to school with it. This is when I just got my pump, I'm pretty sure. We were playing flag football. Probably not good combination with the straps and then my pump tubing. So we were playing, and this kid goes for my belt. He just yanks off my sight. And
so explain a sight to people if they don't know what that is.
Yeah, so instead of doing like a syringe shot for medicine, I'll put this patch on me that will connect to a device, and it'll talk to my sensor, which automatically reads my blood sugar, and basically it'll communicate together to say, hey, this is when you need insulin, this is when you not, this is when you need to eat something to help. And
there's tubing that delivers insulin into your site, right? Into
tubing
your body.
That goes in the body. But I was so young then that, I still needed a lot of help from you. And
yeah, you were in elementary school.
Yeah.
I volunteered
so
in your
someone pulled
school.
it out, I just froze.
Yeah.
And even without telling the teacher, I just booked it to the nurse's office. And the teacher's like, where are you going? I'm like, I need to go to the office. I remember calling you and ended up getting it fixed. But I mean, like, there has been multiple times where I've had, what's it called? Where you get a time and with something where you're like stuck, you can't do it. So I would get stuck where I can't deliver my own insulin. I remember at the fair too.
Mm-hmm.
I still get
frozen.
Yeah, I still get it now. I'll like go to do it. I'll be like 3, 2, 1, and I'll freeze.
Well, it's kind of shocking when you do that. I can hear the click all the way down the hall.
Yeah.
It's like pop.
Yeah, it's loud. So,
yeah.
It freaks you out. But that's something that you grow from.
I used to give you your insulin.
Yeah.
Because you didn't do it until you learned. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
You're
welcome. No, I'm glad I got it, But yeah. No, it was good. Yeah.
Well, I think it's taught you some things, but I also see that you're healing from it, which is a blessing, So, and I love, Ryan, I love your montages. I just want to go back to that real quick. I think what you're doing, to some people it may be controversial to put together like modern warfare or black ops, with gospel or Christian music, but I personally think it's really powerful. It's almost like you're this warrior, and you're transforming. I'm going to use that word, transforming these video games into like warriors of light with this powerful music. That's how I see it. I love how you synchronize as well the words, the music, the editing, your action moves.
Yeah. And, I've been doing editing for, I don't know how long, years now. Probably since I was 14, I would say. And, I've come a long way, and I'm still, I would say I'm intermediate level now. But I'd like to continue to grow on that, too, when I have the time to do that. But it's something that's just really magical about it. And I get to put that out there for people to see and show not only what I can do, but how powerful the Most High can be.
I think it's really cool too, because it's like a different genre or different group of people who are gamers. They're not expecting to have that music on there, I don't think. And then they click on your videos and it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Last time it was Pharaoh.
Yeah.
Set my people free, and I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
And when I do use songs like that, as I'm going through, it's like he gives me this like spark. Hey, do this. So I was basically done with that Pharaoh montage, and I'm like, all of a sudden I get this idea. Hey, when he says set my people free or do all this, I'll put that text up on the screen in a really cool animation to kind of match the gameplay and the music and everything.
I love that part.
Yeah, and a lot of people, when they do click on a lot of the Call of Duty and everything, montages, all that, a lot of it, when you look it up, is rap, is, hip-hop or anything like that genre. And I feel like that me branching out is something that
It's just
I've
something
kind
out of the
done on my
norm.
own. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something. It's breaking outside the box.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with either one, but I think that it's something that is, it, like I said before, it resonates with your spirit, your soul, and it's what you're called to do. So you're following what feels good in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
You're not just that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. You're not just following the crowd.
Yeah.
You're leading something different. You're being courageous enough to do something different, regardless of what people may think. You're doing it your way of what feels good to you.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and with all these challenges and everything, it's not just YouTube that I have that passion for. I have a bunch of other stuff that I like to do. I have, I love cooking. And, before we get into that, actually, I, basically all my life I wanted to be an architect.
Mm-hmm.
And, I ended up going to college for a few months for that, too. And I'm sitting there and, the whole building structures and everything with your hands. I love doing stuff with, building with my hands and everything. And I'm like, this isn't really for me. I don't want to do this. So I stopped going there and I started focusing more on YouTube, cooking, and really technology altogether, really. And that's what I love to do.
This is cool. Okay,
Yeah.
We're gonna get there. Okay, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't force you to go stay in those classes for architecture.
No.
Because it didn't make you happy. It was not for you. I wanted you to follow your dreams and what made you happy and what set your soul on fire, what you really loved, because then that raises your frequency, your vibration, right? And that's exactly what we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
What's so cool is now that we're out here, you have the ability. You've made a cooking video for one of our longtime dear friends and business partners.
Yeah.
Right? Who was on the first podcast, Ron Townsend. Somebody we have known for, Ryan, since you're a baby.
Yeah.
And one of our soul family members. You made a video for one of his, because he has cookbooks.
Yeah.
And you made paella.
Yeah, it was a Spanish dish.
Yeah, that's what you made. It's
Yeah.
on there. And it says right there on the video, Chef Ryan. And you have more videos to create.
I do.
Because so you were looking at the next dish you were going to make that's going to be posted on his YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was, I was trying to utilize my smoker more. That I still have maintenance to do on it, but I would love to keep cooking for those videos, and even just doing those videos really does give me more experience, and I'd love to try new things and incorporate it into a recipe that's already set in stone in a book. I would love to add to that. You take a piece of meat and it says cook it this way. Okay, well, why don't I take that, put it on my smoker for a couple hours, and then cook it that way?
Maybe you could do both. Maybe it'd be a really cool idea, not to interrupt, but do it the old school way, how it's authentic for the times of the Templars, and then the modern way of how people could do it today.
That'd be a good idea. Two different dishes,
very similar, both delicious.
Yeah.
Just two different, one modern and one historical.
Yeah. So definitely, every chance I get, I love to just go in that kitchen. Even if I'm limited right now, I do love to go in there anytime I have
the time.
Yeah, I in the future, I'd love to go to culinary school just to have that under my belt, which would be cool to have. I don't know.
It's kind of interesting, though. You're already a chef for a podcast. Or, not a podcast. For someone else's book line.
Yeah.
This is where the divine professor comes in. Okay? So, For instance, same with healers, okay? There are many people who have gifts, and depending on how we utilize them, but there are healers out there. Some of them are certified. So I'm just going to say, like, someone could be certified as a Reiki healer. They could get the certification and do the studies that way. Then there's somebody like me who's had it passed down through generations and then did it not to society norms, I would have to say. Mine was through study behind very ancient study, right, as a traditional spiritual healer. And that took me from 2017, 18 until 2022.
Yeah.
All those years, just to study what I'm studying now, right? It may not be what society thinks is normal, and I didn't receive a certification from a teacher. My teacher were people that already had this knowledge and were trained over many generations, and also from the divine professor. But that doesn't make either one better than the other. It's just different. It is just different. So you saying you want to go to culinary school, why do you want to go? Is it for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Or is it for someone else?
No. You know, like I said, I want to have that under my belt for me, you know.
There you go.
It's not so much about what society thinks. People go to culinary school to get a job, to work in a kitchen.
It's for you.
It's for my experience. So I can learn new techniques and bring that to my cooking.
That's my boy.
There
we go.
Yeah, so.
There you go. You do it for you.
Yeah.
Just like if I were to get certified in something, it would add to my making Santo. So it would be something different, but it would add to my degree.
Yeah. And that's something that I really am grateful for learning this early in my life is, you know, you don't have to stick to what society wants. You don't have to get that 9-to-5 job, pay off debt, retire, do all that. You can do what you want, work hard, you know, build your business, make sacrifices, make your empire, and be free from that box. And that's something
and it's not easy to do, but it's worth it.
That's something everybody should learn, but a lot of people won't accept.
They're not ready.
Yeah, so I'm grateful for that. That's something that I'm lucky to have learned, and I think that also is a lot of influence from you as well.
Oh, thanks, kid. Young man. You're always going to be my kid.
Yeah.
Even when I'm an old lady and you're an older man.
Yeah.
So, always going to be my kid. Well, good. Yeah, because you have the ability. Everyone has the ability to build and create and live the lives that they want and not be a slave to what we would call the Matrix. And even Daisy agrees. Look, she's crying. She's staring at us.
Yeah.
I know. She's like, that's right. But what's really cool is you were talking about with your gaming or with architecture, you started focusing on the technology itself.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just ever since I was young, technology itself, everything that I got into, even if it took, everything takes a little bit of learning, but it just always seemed to click with me. And I'm realizing this in like the last year, really, that's something that I enjoy doing. I don't want to go work a regular job. I would love to, you gotta love your job, or what is it? Love your job have fun at your job I forgot the term.
I don't know what the term is. Love what you do, and you never work a day in your life.
Exactly.
There we go. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. That's what I want to do. And
I don't know which ancestor that was, but they came on in real quick, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know, and they're like, this is what it is. I'm like, thanks.
Yeah. So, but that's the path I want to follow. And I'm still figuring out the right path I need to take.
You do have an awesome job, though. It is hard work, but you have many jobs, I have to say. So.
Yeah, I am the technology side for, this whole business that I'm running, the podcast, YouTube, website, everything.
You're teaching me. I'm learning from you.
She's learned a lot, so I'm happy about that.
Thank you. You're a good teacher.
And, I'm working as head butcher at a butcher shop right now.
Yeah, at a local butcher shop.
Yeah.
Owned by a baseball player here.
Yeah, and, I love that work.
Yeah, so you work in a wonderful place that you enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
You started off as the front of the house, top salesperson, and now so you don't actually butcher the animals, which is good. You just are.
Yeah, so we get the primals or the loins, and I cut those down into the steaks, or do preparation for different types of meat, and it's really good experience. So it's a good job, and not only am I learning different types of an animal and how to work with it, which I can also bring to my cooking.
Of course.
If I get a whole loin that I want to cook for a big feast, I know how to break it down now. But it also teaches me cleanliness, and
hard work.
I've learned that from a fellow butcher of mine that comes in and helps her once in a while. She's like, hey, clean up as you go, do this during the day before you close, and it saved me a lot of time at the end of the day.
Efficiency.
Yeah, but it's also teach me how to really be clean and proper with everything that I do, and I'm grateful for her to teach me that.
That's awesome. And the technology side of things, so you are 20 years old, even though our business is a baby and we're still working on the website. It's
Yes, that will come in time. That will come in time. I have not had the time to sit down and work on it yet.
You can teach me. When you have time, teach me. Because I like worked on the clothes and stuff, and you've really, because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't even know how to work a computer.
Yeah.
A year ago. That's how I am not tech savvy. I didn't know what Canva was. When you taught me Canva like a month ago, you said it was like teaching a preschooler.
It was teaching from scratch.
I didn't know what any of it was. So it's like, all these thumbnails or things that we create, I'm still learning. It's like, oh, and you're like, Mom, that looks good, but you may want to remove some bits and pieces. It's a little cluttered. So Make it
more pop more.
I know, but I'm very. See, that's the difference. That's why this is good, because I'm not. I don't want to pop.
Yeah.
I'm very like. I don't know if it's like humble, or I want everything to look as like raw and real as possible. Yeah. I'm like, don't make it all shiny.
That also has it's good qualities. If it's just the basic form, you can really see how, our videos are created and how everything has come together. But you have to also catch up with the times a little bit.
Very funny. That's what you said. I'm still in the 90s. And I'm doing my best, honey.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say me particularly, I'm with the 90s. I just think that I just try to be simple. Keep it simple. Do what I can. And so with you, what's really nice is, your eye for things, and you're like, no, Mom, you got to make it pop. No, make it this way. So you're teaching me, and it's good. You're so funny. Be up with the times. Thanks. Well, you are 20, and I'm 43. So, but you're helping me, and I'm learning, so that way I can relieve that pressure off of you, so you can focus on your culinary side of things, your technology, which, okay, that's what I was getting at. It's cool because you are a small business owner. You are part of the business, even though it's tiny.
Yeah.
It's like very, very tiny. But we built this from the ground up after leaving everything.
Yeah.
Which is very rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
right? So as a 20-year-old, you've accomplished that. And you were talking about following your passions and dreams and breaking out of the matrix. That's what you're doing. And you also now are a part of another company that is brand new. And we're not going to say too much yet, but it has to do with technology.
Yeah.
And when it comes out, it's going to come out. But this is going to address the technology side of things that you want to do.
Yeah, and it's a field I haven't really gotten into either, and so I'm excited to learn about it and be taught on how to do it. It's something that I think I'm really going to enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you are determined to follow your passions and your dreams,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't let anything get in the way, whether it's finances, because you trust in the Most High, you trust in God.
Yeah. Everything I do, it's always following Him and trusting Him. That's the number one thing. Besides my family, it's God. That's what has kept me together, is family and God. That I dedicate my life to that.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to say that. So
that's when I say, I think people misunderstand when I say, married to God. That means devoted.
Yeah.
I mean, devoted. I've devoted my life because really He's the glue that's kept everything together. Without Him, I wish people could have just saw your face right now, because the way you looked, shaking your head, yes. By the way, Ryan and I are sitting right across from each other chatting. Everybody.
Yeah, we have the mic in podcast mode.
Yes, we are talking. Right where we do the tarot readings. So, but yeah, if we operated in fear, then we would have given up all of our passions and dreams. We wouldn't be on our soul's journey. And who knows, we might still be in San Diego with a very nasty, dangerous situation.
Yeah.
Right? But we trusted, and we still do. And what that's doing, and if I could do anything in my life, is make sure that you break out of that box and you follow every single one of your passions and dreams, and you live your life to the fullest, freely, full of love, joy, happiness, and peace.
Yeah. And,
close to God.
Before you even, get to that point where you're successful, and it's happened to us a lot, but we've come out stronger before. After it is, there's going to be challenges where we're at one of our most lowest points. And, that's what comes with a family business. The good thing about a family-owned business is, you have each other, and you know that you still love each other. And yeah, without God, I think we would have just lost our way.
Yeah, well, you are dealing with a Taurus Aries cusper over here.
Yeah.
But see, what's cool is you're a Gemini Taurus, so you have the air, and you can be detached, but you're also very grounded. Mm-hmm. Right? You got the fight, and I'm more like a child.
Yeah.
I have a childlike spirit. I'm very silly. And
I'm very I don't show my emotions much, but I know what needs to be done. So, yeah, it works, and I think that just makes us grow stronger and see what we need to do to follow.
God always knows what He's doing, even if we can't see or we don't know what's going to happen, because there's been plenty of really low moments, or we're like, what are we going to do? What is going on? I'm like, oh my gosh, help.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, but I'm really, Ryan, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
You've accomplished so much. You've been through so much, whether it's, watching and trusting as we journeyed. You were with a stepfather, and you saw a lot go down, right? And I was there when I finally got divorced. It was would have been 18 years. You had to trust me before you had faith.
Yeah.
That I was making the right choice, even though things were going sideways. But, and every time we moved or didn't have like a solid address, and you still graduated 6 months in advance, top of your class.
Yeah, I was really behind in high school. I remember I was like a year behind.
That says it right there.
Yeah.
When you're in a negative situation, you were behind. No matter, we removed ourselves from that situation, and what happened?
I mean, I graduated 6 months early. I know, because we were moving around a lot. I went to, I think, multiple different schools in my childhood, and bless you. And so, I eventually went to this high school, and I was so far behind that they put me into this program where I'd go into school like once or twice a week, turn in all my assignments, and take a test or an essay or something.
Charter school?
No, it wasn't that. It was in Poway.
Oh, that was the other school.
Yeah.
That didn't work so well.
And I remember we ended up going back down to San Carlos and enrolling in that charter school.
By Lake Murray.
Yeah, that charter school. And the teacher there was like, whatever they did there, they put you even further behind. And so I'm like, well, great, And I know someone was against me going to the charter school at that point.
You're talking about my ex-husband.
Yes. And but we still went there.
I remember when COVID hit. Oh my gosh, this was crazy. Can I just say real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, before COVID hit, what happened was he wanted you to be enrolled in Patrick Henry. And our guides came to me and said, do not enroll him in school. We saw that charter school, and I said, I can have you in the charter school. You could go there once a week or as often as you want, and you could study from home. Because my guardian angel was telling me, no, Molly, don't do it. I listened, and I remember him, he was so against it. He wanted you at Patrick Henry where he went, and I was like, no, because my higher guidance, which he did not agree with, was so against you going. What hit right after?
COVID.
Boom.
Yeah, I know. I was going in there, I think, once a week, and just doing work there, and that hit, and basically it was all online, so I was still able to focus on my studies at home when COVID hit. And I remember it took me a couple months to really warm up to that program, and I wasn't doing the greatest at the start. But then, I started getting warmed up, something clicked, and I was getting like, A's and, high B's and stuff, except for language. Spanish, we could put that on
You're
the background.
actually pretty good, but...
and so...
I thought so.
I just worked my butt off on that, and, that gave me time at that point to also do YouTube, so I did that, and then I ended up...
Because there was no longer sports.
Yeah,
it was
so
COVID.
I finished all my classes 6 months early, and I just had to wait for the graduation ceremony. So that was
crazy. That was when you went and got your gown and saw your friend, Devin, and your tires.
Yeah, so finished with my classes. I was talking to my teacher. She's like, hey, come run down, get your gown for your ceremony. I'm like, okay, cool. So I drive down, and this is in my... Gosh, I love that car. It was a old 2007 Volvo. It was a convertible.
It was a C70.
C70, yep.
We bought it used and got it fixed up.
And so I was driving that down, got it. I saw a friend, grabbed some lunch.
You got... Okay, let's rewind for a minute. Let's give them a little bit of base of the story here.
Okay.
We just got brand new tires on that car.
Oh, yeah.
What was going on during that time? Court. Divorce court. Battling over a business, right? That I had manifested and built with somebody that I was with for that long, right? Keep in mind, we just picked up your car from the tire store.
And we just got, I think, the brakes done as well.
Yeah.
Everything, yeah.
So you were going to drive. Go on.
So, like I said, I got some food with a friend, and then I ended up leaving. And as I got back onto just the main road, I could hear something off. But I was like, put it aside. It was just a little, thought, just getting warmed up. As I got on the freeway, I just heard it get louder, and I was do. I'm like, oh, crap. So as I got up to, 65, 70, my back tire just poof. And I did a full, I think it was 720 around the freeway.
On the 8 West.
Yeah.
San Diego.
And it freaked me out, but I was sitting there. I ended up calling you right away. And as I was talking to you, we were freaking out, kind of back and forth. And
I said, pull over to the side of the freeway if you can.
I didn't know if I could move on that tire. So this trucker, in a, was it 18-wheeler or something?
Yeah.
Ended up ended up blocking the whole intersection and helped me get over to the road or the side of the freeway. And I sat there with you as I was talking to you, hey, what do I do now? This cop pulls up, and I'm not good around cops, really. And so he pulls up. He's like, hey, what's going on? Ended up talking to him for a minute. He was so nice. And he was like, okay, well, let me escort you off to, a parking lot somewhere.
So your mom can come.
Yeah. So he ended up escorting me, and he's like, you all good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good, thank you. And at that point, I ended up calling our insurance, but...
Not one scratch on you, though.
Not
you were
one scratch,
so...
yeah.
And not even the car, only the tire and the rim.
Tire. Yeah.
And I have pictures of that.
Yeah, I mean, I have, crazy pictures. We might maybe post.
He was so nice. Well, and I'm going to explain the whole cop situation because my ex worked for the DOJ, and we had our encounters with people that were didn't abide by oaths that they had taken to assist.
Yeah.
Right. So, but that cop was so nice, and you were highly protected, not one scratch on you.
I mean, think about it. The time that I did a full, spin on the freeway, nobody was around me. It was they were all behind me, coming up on me, and before they even got close to me, that's when it happened. So they made sure nobody was around me, and then after that,
God's
I had
really surrounded you with good angels and guides.
Getting off the road.
Yeah. That was the third set of tires that got popped.
Oh, yeah. That car had many instances where it...
Well, no, yours had more than one?
Oh, yeah. I think I had 3 tires that had to be replaced.
I don't remember. Oh, my gosh.
I know when we ended up trading it in for to the car we have now.
Because we traded in both our old ones because they were tampered with.
I know that my tire was flat.
Oh, yeah. Again.
Yeah.
Because mine got slashed twice, too. My run flats. And we had to get rid of both the cars. Yup. We were we got to get out of San Diego. We've got to get out of here. Because our gates where we were at the apartments in Del Mar Heights, they always seemed to be broken. Yeah. So everyone could get in.
Gosh, that place was a little bit of a mess. I know the fire alarm would consistently
someone was pulling them, I think.
Yeah. So, that was...
It was a sign.
That place was... It was like we were stuck there for a while.
The energy.
Yeah. And we got to the point where we were like, no, we have to go.
That was crazy. When we were leaving...
Mm-hmm.
So, not only was there an issue with the car again... But the fire alarms went off as we were packing. We were just about to leave. And then when we were on the freeway to get to Laguna Beach, there was a motorcycle accident. There was another accident. Something did not want us to leave San Diego.
Yeah.
We were like, bye. We're gone.
Yeah.
When we got out of there, it was like a complete... We could feel the energy shift.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, anyways.
Good times. Yeah.
A lot of challenges, but a lot of good moments in life. And that's just a small piece. You gotta... In life, there's saying that bad memories really stick more with you than the happy ones. But if you really do go look back, you have to find those good memories in your life. And that's what keeps pushing that's what pushes you further.
Those moments molded you to be the individual that you are today.
Yeah.
Look at all that you're accomplishing. Look how close you are to the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
You know who you are.
Yeah.
You know who butters your bread, who takes care of you.
Anyways.
So, you've come a long way. You've been through a lot. That's just bits and pieces of your journey.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can discuss more and see where your future brings you. If there's anyone younger listening, okay, who may be going through a hard time, because Ryan, I am gonna say this real quick, okay? Because there was a lot of abuse in our home, not against you, but against me, right? There was a person who was harmful, but I personally, I'm not saying it's to me, it was for me to grow and learn. And then you had to give up a life of what you thought in the society's world was what it should be, right? Material, comfort, everything. Yeah. You walked away with not even complaining. Walked away from everything and trusted.
Yeah.
And instead of letting it, instead of taking it in a negative light, you transformed it, you transmuted it. You took the negative, turned it to a positive, and you used it as a very powerful source. Because you went through a lot. Health, technically that's attempted, Yeah. You went through a lot. If there's anything that you could tell people who are going through difficult times, doesn't matter the age, I suppose, what would you tell them?
Even if you are going through something that you think is so tough that it's impossible, and you are stuck there, you don't have any other option, it's just look at yourself, make sure you love yourself and love God, because even if you don't have anything in 3D at that moment, if you believe in that higher self, your life will take a turn for the best.
Positive thinking,
yes,
positive
even
belief.
If it's a difficult path to get there, it's going to be one of the best paths you can take in your life. It'll challenge you, it'll make you go to the extreme, but when you're done with it and you look back at your life, it's going to be the most majestic thing you have ever done. And you're going to be proud of yourself, you're going to love yourself, and you're going to, who knows, have the most wonderful family in the future. So keep pushing, do your best, and just love yourself and love God. Those are the two most important things that you can do in your life.
And don't ever give up.
Yeah.
Don't lose hope and faith, please.
Yeah. And there's always going to be somebody out there who will support you no matter what. Whether it's in, on earth, or if it's God or spiritual. So
you're never alone.
You just have to find that and work towards it, and you will be the best person or best version of yourself.
It takes
in the multiverse.
Aw, thank you, Rye.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think that's amen to that. So guys, thank you so much for listening and joining us, me and my kid.
Yeah, thank you guys.
And Brian, thank you so much for being here and sharing parts of your journey. It was really very powerful, and I enjoyed this conversation.
Me too. I know it was a rough patch yesterday, but I'm glad we got to do this.
We had to go through a little bit of remembrance.
Yeah, a little bit of healing. So
that's good.
Yeah, it was a good conversation. So
yeah.
Now it's ready to post it to the world.
All right, guys, we love you so much, and we are very, very grateful for you. Thank you for everything you do. And we always pray that you're surrounded by the Most High God's love, protection, and blessings. Thank you, everyone. Bye.